Hi, I'm Jeremy Bruick, Director of Teacher Education in the Lebron James Family Foundation College of Education at the University of Akron. Today I'll be sharing an overview of the student teaching requirements and expectations, as well as instructions on the online application process. Student teaching is your capstone project. It allows you, after successful completion, to apply for your State of Ohio teacher's license. It's considered to be the most important and challenging component of the teacher preparation program. It is a 16-week professional internship. The objectives of student teaching is to provide experiences where students seeking licensure can effectively demonstrate skills in the following areas: planning and preparation, navigating the classroom, instruction, assessment, professional responsibilities, classroom management, behavior management, and professional dispositions. At the University of Akron, there are a variety of student teaching requirements to be met in order to be eligible. To be eligible, you must meet all 10 requirements. You need to be admitted to the College of Education. You also need to make sure that before student teaching, you have had completion of all program requirements. Your program requirements are located on your PCD. This is an important document. You need to make sure that before you apply for student teaching, you have met or will have met all required coursework on your PCD. If you've had any waives and subs, or any courses that have been changed for any reason in conjunction with your faculty advisor, you must make sure that these changes are reflected on your PCD and that the proper paperwork is signed and on file with the University of Akron. You also need to have a cumulative grade point average of 2.5 or above in all your courses here at the university. A 2.5 or above GPA in all your content area classes is also required. This means, for example, if you're a middle childhood math and science student, you would have a 2.5 GPA or higher in both your math content and your science content. In all your professional education coursework, you cannot have below a C. Any professional education coursework on your PCD with a C- or lower has to be retaken. Passing scores on all of your content areas for the Ohio Assessment for Educators are also required. Foreign language students are required to take the OPI. Passing OAA content or OPI scores need to be turned into the Office of Student Teaching by the required deadline. You need to have a clean FBI and BCI report to submit to the district where you will be student teaching. You also must complete the student teaching application by the required deadline and submit it. This is an online process that will be covered in more detail. Finally, you need approval from the Student Teaching Committee. Your student teaching experience requires a large time commitment. It's a full-time internship. It's Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 hours at the school during the day. Evening and weekends will be spent planning and preparing for future instruction. You'll be required to report at the same time your mentor teacher is required to report. So you'll follow the district time schedule as well as the district calendar. You may also be required to attend evening and weekend conferences or school events. You need to begin to think now about how you're going to manage all your responsibilities and commitments during this time. Student teaching is like a 16-week interview, and it can be a gateway to a job interview. The people in the school where you'll be student teaching will see and note whether you're on time to meetings or if you're constantly running late. Think about how you can best be organized and be prepared to show those skills when you start your student teaching. There is an edTPA requirement as part of student teaching here in the College of Education. The state of Ohio mandated that beginning fall 2013, all pre-service teachers have to complete a teacher performance assessment. They do this during their student teaching experience. At the University of Akron, we've chosen edTPA for this teacher performance assessment. It's required as part of your student teaching course or colloquium. If you do not complete and upload the final edTPA portfolio, you'll fail that colloquium course and you will not be able to graduate. There is a cost to edTPA. The cost to you as a student is $300. This cost is not included in any tuition payments, and you'll have to pay using an online system during your colloquium course. The one nice thing is you will not have to pay for it right at the beginning of the semester. Your colloquium instructor will give you more information about edTPA, including an overview about what exactly edTPA is. It's a pre-service portfolio that's designed by educators to answer the essential question, is a new teacher ready for the job? So it'll test, it tests application of skills. It's a summative assessment of the teaching practice, and it's in alignment with the Ohio teaching standards. There's a collection of artifacts and commentaries that you'll put together based on a learning segment of 3 to 5 days. You'll submit all of this in your online portfolio during your colloquium course, and then it'll be assessed by the state of Ohio using 15 rubrics. You will receive additional information in future student teaching meetings about edTPA, and you'll receive that edTPA support through your colloquium class. Information on edTPA can be found at edTPA.com. To teach in the public school of Ohio, you're going to have to be licensed by the Ohio Department of Education. During your student teaching internship, you'll be at this pre-service preparation level. Once you complete all your program requirements and graduate, then you'll apply for your resident educator license. This is a 4-year license that you'll use when you first enter a district. The district will put you in their resident educator program and provide a skilled mentor for you to learn alongside during your first few years of teaching. There's a 2-year mentoring process that you'll go through, and then in year 3 or 4 of your initial resident educator license, you'll take the RESA, or the Resident Educator Summative Assessment. You'll need to pass the RESA and to move towards your 5-year professional license. The portfolio that you'll do for RESA will be very similar to what you will do on edTPA. And that's one of the reasons that we've chosen edTPA as the teacher performance assessment here at the University of Akron. Once you've passed RESA and have your professional license, you'll receive that license for a period of 5 years. And then there's other options for renewing that professional license or extending it. Ohio assessments for educators are one important facet of student teaching. You have to pass your content area exam for fall 2017 student teaching by July 30th, 2017. That's not just one OAE content area, it's all OAE content areas. If you're a foreign language student, you have to take and pass your OPI by July 30th, 2017. Now, there's a 30-day wait time before you can repeat any test. So if you take it at one point in time and don't achieve a passing score, you'll have to retake that exam, but you'll have to wait 30 days before you can take that test. That's important to keep in mind when we have the July 30th deadline. There's a significant wait time before you receive your official scores, and you'll need to have both passing scores on the OAE content area test and the OAE pedagogical test in order to apply for your teaching license. Only the OAE content test, though, is required to be eligible to student teach. With the new CAPE accreditation standards, all student teaching placements are made within a 50-mile radius from the main campus of the University of Akron. Teacher candidates will be placed in local school district in which we have developed partnerships and which meet the criteria for the teacher candidate's licensure area. So we'll have to find a placement that's geographically close for you to travel to, but also has the required mentor teacher in your content area and or in your licensure area so that we can provide you with a meaningful pairing for the student teaching experience. We also take into consideration where teacher candidates have completed their field work. We work to ensure that each teacher candidate receives experience in diverse settings within their College of Education experiences. The partner schools for student teaching placements can be public, private, or charter schools, as long as they're accredited by the state of Ohio. We consider the following when we're looking for a placement for you. We look at your eligibility, the availability of sites and mentors, the locations of other field experiences, and your licensure needs. Once we have a handle on those, then we work with our current district partners to provide placements. This is a list of some of our current district partners. It's not a complete list. We have partnerships with many districts throughout Northeast Ohio. We'll work to place you in one that matches your licensure need, as well as is close in location to where you plan to live. It's important to note that if you're going to live somewhere else than where you currently do now for student teaching, that the Office of Student Teaching has that information submitted on your application so that we know. For example, if you're living on campus currently, but you are from the Parma area, please let us know that if you'll be living in Parma so that we can provide a placement closer to Parma, not closer to campus for you. Same goes for any other location that you might live, as long as it's within the state of Ohio and 50 miles of the University of Akron. We can work to get a placement for you. Some important information about the placement process. Candidates may not make their own placements. You can't go out, look for your own placements, approach teachers or principals or school administrators about student teaching in their district. That's handled by the Office of Student Teaching. Candidates may not student teach in the district that they attended or graduated from. Candidates also may not student teach in districts where a relative or where a relative works or where relatives attended. You can't student teach in a district where you might be employed either. Many districts that we partner with require you to interview with them prior to them accepting you as a student teacher. So during the application process, you might be asked to meet with an interview team either on campus at the University of Akron or at a school-based site so that you could interview for your potential placement location. That information would be communicated at a later time, and we make sure you have plenty of time ahead to know and plan for that. When you're looking to, when you're starting to take two. When you're starting the student teaching application, you'll need to navigate to the University of Akron College of Ed website, specifically the Office of Student Teaching. I'll provide this information in an email that goes out to all potential candidates, as well as other documentation that will help you plan. There's many components to the student teaching online application. So what I've done is prepared a Word document template that includes every field from the online application. You can complete the application in the Word template first, save it, and when you're ready to go online and complete, you'll be able to copy and paste. This is an important process because the student teaching application cannot be saved once it's started. You'll have to complete it all in one sitting and submit. There are narrative portions of the application as well. Questions that ask why you would like to be a teacher, awards, honors, and accolades you might have, and other educational related items. It's important that you answer these in a thoughtful manner and write them with professional language, because the school districts where we place you will see these items from your application. Districts don't receive all the information from the application, but they do receive the narrative components. So please take time to write a thoughtful paragraph to submit in your application. Again, that's why this should be done early, and you can use the template. That way you're ready to go and can complete the online application pretty quickly and efficiently. When you're ready to go to apply, you'll go to the student teaching website and click on Preparing to Student Teach. You'll then apply for the fall 2017 student teaching, and then the online application will open up. It'll take around 30 minutes to complete, and hopefully you'll have the template there to guide you. Once you start the application, as I said, you can't stop and save. If you do not complete the application and submit, you're going to have to do that application all over again. The electronic application will be available after December 12, 2016, and the Office of Student Teaching will communicate to you when the link goes live. When you fill out all the required information, you'll need to push submit. You'll know that this was successful because a copy of the application will be sent to your zips.uakron.edu email address. The copy of your application will serve as receipt that you've applied for student teaching. You need to retain a copy of this application for your records. You'll receive your placement at a meeting on April 27th, 2017. The meeting will be from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Zook Hall Auditorium. This date's subject to change depending on how spring classes pan out. If it needs to be changed, it will be communicated well in advance. You can't call and ask for your placement before that meeting. We won't be able to provide that information. Some student teacher candidates may know their placement if they interviewed and the mentor teacher contacted them. We don't give out the official placements until that April 27th date. You won't be officially cleared to student teach until all requirements are met. So you will receive your placement prior to being cleared for as far as eligibility. Typically, you won't be cleared until after grades post in the last semester of your classes. So even if you receive the student teaching placement, it will be canceled if you don't meet all the requirements. During student teaching, you'll be expected to follow the district building calendar, the hours of operation, and all the procedures and guidelines and policies. You'll also follow professional guidelines that are in alignment with the Ohio standards for the teaching profession. You'll follow district policies and the University of Akron's Code of Conduct. If you have added misdemeanor or felony since you turned in your cleared BCI and FBI to the district, you have to report it to the Director of Teacher Education at the university. Not reporting it, or depending on what the offense is, could result in immediate removal from your placement. If you voluntarily start your placement early, you still will have to end your placement as scheduled at the end of the semester. If you're offered employment at the district during your student teaching, you will still have to end your placement as scheduled. You won't be able to start working for them early and during any of your student teaching weeks. You also can't be hired as a sub for the district while you're student teaching. If you're removed from a placement, you're not guaranteed another placement within that same semester. In fact, depending on the offense, you might not be guaranteed another placement here at the University of Akron. Depending on the reason for removal, a decision will be made by the Director of Teacher Ed or the department chair, the committee, about whether you're allowed to obtain an additional student teaching placement. You also have to be able to meet the physical demands of student teaching, those demands of the classroom, standing for periods of time and maybe kneeling or being on the floor, etc. Some important notes about social media. When you're placed in the district, the school district considers you a representative of their school. So that means all components, including social media, of your demeanor need to reflect something professional in nature. If you use any form of social media, you need to be sure your content is professional. Make sure you have professional language, photo, steer clear of political and religious commentaries, and whatever you do, don't post images of students. What you should be doing now is taking time to review your social media and then edit them as needed. If there's some stuff in there that could be perceived as less than professional, clean it up, take it off, and make sure that there's a professional teacher at the end of your Facebook, your Snapchat, your Instagram, your Twitter. If the district you're working in considers your postings inappropriate or unprofessional, they might not accept you as a student teacher, or they might ask for you to be removed while you're there. We do not want that to happen, so I strongly encourage you to take a look at social media. As far as communication, all information will be communicated to you through your zips.uakron.edu email. It's important that you check that email frequently and that you use that email on applications, the application for student teaching and applications for any other student teaching related activities. You also are going to have to register for your student teaching courses. I will send the list of courses sometime around March of spring semester to you with all of the course numbers that you'll need to register for. Because many of you won't be able to register on your own in your My Akron account for the student teaching course and the colloquium course, you'll need to use the online form that we have at the University of Akron for closed courses. Submit both courses on one request, and Kelly will make sure that you get enrolled in those courses. You will never be shut out, or there'll never be a student teaching course canceled due to low enrollment. They will run because we continue to have student teachers that need to take the courses no matter how large the class size is. So some critical dates coming up. February 3rd, 2017 is the last day to apply online for student teaching. We won't take late applications. You need to get that information in. As I said earlier, I will be providing on our website for download, as well as in emails you will receive from the Office of Student Teaching, a Word document template of the online application that you should take a look at and begin to complete ahead of time. It's going to require a lot of information, including information that comes from your DARs. So it's critical that you look at it soon. Other important dates are listed here. The online and face-to-face overview orientations are occurring in the first week of December 2016. The placement meeting, again, will be April 27th, 2017. And then we'll have a pre-student teaching meeting in the fall before the semester kicks off, August 24th, 2017 from 1 to 5 p.m. It's a required meeting and there's no makeup, so you're going to have to make sure that you write this date down. You're going to receive email reminders for all these meetings from me in the future. One final important date is concerning graduation. You're going to need to apply for graduation. It's usually 6 months prior to when your graduation date is that the application is due. You do this through My Akron. It's a simple process where you use the drop-down menu to schedule your classes. One of the items is apply for graduation. You can click on that and apply. If you need help with applying for graduation, you should contact the registrar's office, or you can see Kelly in Student Services, Zook 002. DARS is an important component of this application process, and is the last thing we're going to cover. You've got to complete all your courses on your PCD prior to student teaching, with the exception of the courses that you might currently be in. So take a look at your DARS and compare to your program plan and make sure all of those courses are completed with passing grades. You need to make sure that that DARS is accurate. If it's not, you've got to work with your faculty advisor and our program specialist, Kelly, to fix errors on the DARS report. This is your responsibility. You're going to have to make sure you look at DARS, look at your PCD, and if there's any difficulty, contact your faculty advisor. DARS is what we use to clear you for student teaching. If your DARS shows that you're missing any coursework, you're not going to be able to be cleared for student teaching because you won't meet one of those eligibility requirements. So it's important that you log into My Akron and take a look at your DARS if you haven't. When you look at your DARS, if you see an agreed check, it means it's really good. A red X means you need to take a closer look at this section in the courses or that are in there to see if you have registered for all of them, or if you need to have a waive sub form filled out by your faculty academic advisor and submitted to the Office of Student Services. So you'll take a look. One thing that's really important for you to know about DARS is when you log into DARS, at the very top of the page there's a number of pie charts and bar graphs. Don't look at those for the purposes of the student teaching application. They're based on state minimum requirements, which are not the same as student teaching requirements. So you'll need to scroll past those initial charts and graphs and go down into where your DARS coursework is listed. It'll look something like this. It'll tell you that you're either missing hours or you're completing hours, and you'll need to find some important information on your DARS. In this example, we're looking at an integrated social studies AYA student, but they have a content field for that AYA social studies that you can see listed on the DARS. These are all the content courses that appear on the PCD that are required. Towards the middle right side of that screen, there you can see that the content GPA is listed. It's 3.630. This is where you find your content GPAs for the student teaching application. You'll also have a professional education coursework section. Again, you'll look at this area to find your GPA for your professional education courses. In this case, this student has a 4.0 in their professional education courses. If you need assistance, send an email to Kelly and then CC your faculty advisor. Kelly is an expert with DARS. She can help you, and it takes several weeks sometimes to process all the different requests that she has. So reach out to an email if you need help locating your content or your professional education GPAs on your DARS for the application. Kelly can help, and sometimes it's as simple as an email. Appreciate the time. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me via email, jbrueck@uakron.edu, or you can call my office, 330-972-2673. Thank you.